Welcome back, fanboys and fangirls. This is your solo nerd, and this is Nerds on Topic. I hope you got your tinfoil hats ready, because shit's about to get real.
Ready? Kick it! Pick it up now!
Oh, I needed that. Okay. So, hello everybody. Good evening, I should say, because it is not morning time right now. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of research lately, and some weird shit has happened since I've been doing this research. Especially whenever I would look up certain keywords, like reptilian celebrities and Illuminati. No joke. Twice since I've been doing this research this week, my power has gone out and come back on with all of my devices, including somehow my phone, rebooting. So, yeah. I'm drinking a beer right now because I need to relax. Whew. How's everyone been? I'm doing all right here. I may or may not have been replaced by a lizard person. I mean, of course, I am not a lizard person. I hold no power over anyone. Yes. So, yes. Please elect me as your president in 2028. I will be running during that campaign. You might know that this is Nerds on Topic, and since you clicked on this, I should tell you right now that on these kinds of episodes, which is a topic-based episode, obviously, it's obviously not news. Because I would have said the date and shit in the beginning of it, like always. But I pick a topiip every week, and I do a shit ton of research. Enough research to start a revolution of shape-shifting, interdimensional aliens that are vaguely animalistic in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. So this was actually suggested to me by someone from a local coffee shop that I hang out at occasionally, who pointed out that I'd been doing a lot of lizard things from pop culture, like I did Jurassic Park and I did Godzilla. And just recently I did humanoid animals in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ripoff series episode, which, if you haven't heard yet, I'd highly suggest going back and listening to that. It's a really good episode, really fun. I come up with a really cool idea for my own ripoff, the Mighty Anima Brawlers. So if you guys actually want to see me work on a comic of that, which I describe a little bit in that last topic, go ahead and go back, send me a message. You can message the podcast on Gmail at nerdsontopic@gmail.com. You can also suggest any other topics you might want us to cover, or me to cover, I should say. And yeah, so this has been some interesting research, to say the least. Fuck. So it started off pretty innocently, like just looking up what are reptilians and what are lizard people and what people think they're here for and shit like that. And I got some interesting results. The most well put together one, I would have to say, is a very detailed history of where they came from and their origins as a species, which I honestly don't know how anyone would know, seeing as supposedly they're hidden and completely secretive about who they are, what they're doing, and what their intentions are. Um, yeah. So this is very interesting. I feel like if I were to do the Mighty Anima Brawlers as a comic, I might have Reptilians as like one of the main villains. It would seem very fitting for a theme. Oh man, I feel like I'm already kind of building that story. So I'm gonna jump into things a little bit right here, and so to apparently to understand the origins of reptilians, you have to know a race of beings known as the Carrions, which every time I hear that, I always think of the D&D creature, the carrion crawler, which is like a weird big bug thing that feeds on corpses and shit. Uh, it's cool. If you guys hadn't realized, I'm also a huge D&D fan from the D&D episode I did previously. Go check that out. Uh, anyways, so yeah, Carrions. They are a race of beings who were made of stardust and made their own physical bodies in the three-dimensional space based on beings that were able to soar above all other living creatures. So naturally, they looked like birds. Which, yeah, sure, that totally makes sense. They I don't know why, but they made a secondary race of beings known as uh, Draconians, I do believe they called them, and they put them on a far off star in the Draconis system. Um, they were told that they told the Reptilians, the Draconians, whatever the fuck you want to call them, that the universe belonged to them, and from there they left them to their own devices. And being the cold, calculating race of beings they evolved into, they developed technology far beyond anything us humans would understand today, and also developed the ability to uh, vibrate their frequency to mask their appearance and disguise themselves amongst other species. Um, yeah, because that totally makes sense. That's exactly how vibrational frequencies work, which I don't think it is. I don't think that's how that works. Some people speculate that their enhanced brains are able to completely control their uh, bodies and are able to then shapeshift themselves into any three-dimensional form they desire, usually taking on the form of a humanoid race. Um, and yeah, so they developed technology that allowed them to go off into the stars and start slowly taking over the galaxy. um, let's see. Apparently, they also were able to completely, clone and generate a species of alien known as the Greys that everyone knows of, but for some reason doesn't always associate with reptilians, which I understand because they don't seem like they have anything in common. So I'm going to completely skip over that because I feel like it's unimportant to this lesson. Um, going from there, they discovered Earth and they kind of settled down. Um, and like this is very apparent in early civilizations such as like Mayan and Egyptian, where they had animal-headed or reptilian-headed gods. So like in their hieroglyphics, they show Horus and Ra and whatever the name of the crocodile god was in Egyptian mythology, whose name I really can't remember and never actually bothered looking up. Um, but yeah, so they kind of use their technology to rule over the people as gods. Um, it seems until gods started kind of getting weeded out of like the situation. Like it took thousands of years. Don't get me wrong, but and apparently like in between then they also did this, but they would shapeshift into humans and kind of take on the roles of those they changed their form into. especially into the form of those who had um, a position of power over large groups of people. Sorry, during this I really needed a drink, so I'm drinking a really nice beer, actually. It's the fourth one I've had in the last 2 hours by a company called Slow Brew. This is their original, I want to say original ale. It doesn't really say, it just says Slow Brew Original, SLO. Pretty good. I got like a sample pack of them. This is so far my favorite of the group. Anyways, what was I talking about again? Egyptians. Oh yeah. So they used their technology to rule over the humans. They ended up blending in with humans. And then like right after this, I started looking at some more modern things about them. And this is actually like around the first time my power had gone out. Like it started mad flickering. It was crazy. It kind of scared me. Like I was trying to like get everything on, so like I had to shut off a bunch of things, and like eventually after like an hour my power just kind of like came back on and stabilized. Because this is also when I first started looking into the Illuminati. But before I actually go into that, I'm gonna talk about like why the reptilians ended up why the reptilians started staying on Earth. So apparently, whenever they got to Earth, they found out that they were able to sustain themselves on the emotional responses of humans, especially negative emotional responses. So they became very tyrannical leaders that brought like very what's the word I'm looking for? Poor living conditions upon their servants, aka like slavery and shit like that. Man, like so. It kind of makes sense, but also doesn't. Like, I don't know how a being could sustain itself on emotional energy. It's very vampiric, especially if you follow the Dresden Files, and the White Court vampires taste on human emotion, specifically like they go after love and fear. But anyway, shit. They started just actually breeding with humans and keeping their offsprings in a position of power, so that they were able to rule over humanity. So like I started doing some different research here, and so a lot of people also say that reptilians found Earth in the 1940s, like after which apparently like a lot of alien sightings started happening around this time, right after the nuclear bomb testing. So much like how Godzilla was woken up by the first explosion of the nuclear bomb, apparently the nuclear blast sent ripples of energy into space and through alternate dimensions and realities, alerting aliens and interdimensional beings of our presence. I've heard some people on different videos that I was doing research with describing it as, oh hey, these kids just found matches. Let's teach them how to light shit on fire. So some people say that reptilians are aliens, like from the Dracona system. Other people are saying that they are fourth or fifth dimensional beings. The only fifth dimensional beings I believe in are fifth dimensional imps, especially Mr. Mxyzptlk, one of my favorite DC villains, who likes to troll Superman, for those who don't know. I also did a lot of side research during this so I could cleanse my palate. And don't worry, guys, to get rid of your paranoia later on, I do have a palate cleansing section of this episode. So stay tuned for that. Don't worry, because shit's about to get a little bit more weird. Yeah, people are saying that it happened either around the 1940s or millions of years ago, like some kind of weird time travel thing where they felt the ripples of the atomic bomb and sent people back in, like sent some of their soldiers back into the past to infiltrate and breed with humans to start a race of like a lesser being race of basically soldiers and workers like that, um, so that they could take over the planet one generation at a time or some shit like that. I don't know. It was weird. Anyways, uh, there's a big list of modern day famous people who are um apparently very associated with reptilians, and some of which are actually been spotted as transforming into their supposedly 8 to 13 foot tall reptilian forms. Some of which were caught on videos, which, oh my gosh, like sitting here watching videos of people's eyes shifting mid conversation or in the middle of just like public or during a performance they were putting on, where hundreds, if not thousands, of viewers and onlookers were able to witness it and point it out and stop it. And like, while a lot of these videos I was researching were obviously fake and or doctored, some of them were really weird. One of the most popular people suspected of being a reptilian, and what I found was probably one of the oldest people suspected of being one of the lizard folk, or I should say, is the Queen of England. So they say that she's been in power for so long, and that so much has happened underneath her, such as like the death of Princess Diana, feeding on people's grief and misery from that kind of situation, that she has sustained herself for this long. I think she's like, what, 92, 93 or some shit at this point. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I don't remember seeing any videos about her, like seeing her shapeshift, but just like how old she is and like the kind of good health that she's in at this point. Which, if that's kind of a situation, I wonder if Stan Lee, my immortal god savior, is also a reptilian, with how much he's kind of like influenced the comic book world. I don't know. That's something I need to look into. I should have thought about that whenever I was doing research on this, but I didn't, because no one ever suspected my sweet, innocent Stan Lee as being a no good, disgusting lizard person. Other famous people suspected of being reptilians in disguise are Justin Bieber, Oprah, Jim Carrey, kind of surprised me, Adele, Beyonce, Miley Cyrus, who kind of is understandable as being a lizard person, Obama, Trump, Mark Zuckerberg, and like honestly, like the list goes on. And also, many of these people are suspected of being in the Illuminati. Huh. It's almost like the Illuminati and lizard people go hand in hand. Strange. I'm not laughing as much as I normally do in this episode, guys. I'm like, any laugh I'm doing right now is kind of the awkward, I'm forcing myself to talk about this kind of laugh. Sorry if that's weird to you guys. Or if you can even tell the difference. I don't even know if I can tell the difference anymore. So the biggest thing about like some of these people being lizard people, especially Justin Bieber. So supposedly, when in Australia, whenever he was visiting there, hundreds of people started seeing him transform into a reptilian. Apparently he was like 8 feet tall, had long ass claws, and was getting really mad. People were apparently hiding in the bathrooms and running away. And the only reason apparently there's no video footage of it is because the security guard was who he had with him was threatening to kick their teeth in if anyone tried to record it. Which honestly, I feel like that's not really a threat. I feel like at least a dozen people would have still gone ahead and started recording, even for threat of teeth being smashed in, like so many of my nightmares. I have a lot of nightmares actually with my teeth falling out. It feels really weird and chalky and gritty when I wake up. and I always have to like check my mouth for all of my teeth. Anyways, yeah, so that was a big one. People are always suspecting Oprah of being a lizard person. I don't really know how. Apparently her eyes changed like once or twice on her show. People are saying recently Jim Carrey has been showing a lot of signs of being a reptilian, especially when he started acting really weird, like saying everything in this world is pointless, and just started like looking around and tilting his head a lot, like on that one red carpet event where he was getting interviewed saying that he just wanted to come out and do the stupidest thing he could think of, which was apparently coming to an event, which is kind of messed up but is also kind of funny. Also, speaking of Jim Carrey, I really can't wait for that new show he's on, Kidding, where he plays like the child TV show character host, kind of like Mr. Rogers. That's pretty cool. And every time I think of Mr. Rogers, I think of the Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny. Good guys, bad guys, and explosions, as far as the eye can see. Only one will survive. I wonder who it will be. This is the Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny. Man, that's nostalgic right there. Anyway, so yeah, Jim Carrey. Apparently Adele had a couple of things where people thought they saw her transforming on stage. Same with Beyonce, especially during that one Super Bowl fiasco she had where she looked really fucking weird. Miley Cyrus, right after she started going batshit insane and started shaving her head and stuff and sticking her tongue out a lot like a lizard, and twerking all over the place. Apparently just Obama, because he was president, and had a couple of weird pictures taken of him, and Trump, because I totally actually believe Trump being a lizard person, especially like a really old one who's like 400 or 500 years old or however fucking old they get. And his skin's all saggy and he acts all weird. He tries to fit in and feigns emotion. Says really weird shit like he would sleep with his daughter if she wasn't his daughter. God, so fucking weird. I kind of understand Mark Zuckerberg, but not really. Like, sure, he made a social networking platform, but I don't really see him as being that much influential. But yeah, so like especially. What was I saying? My next notes were on the Illuminati and how everyone believes that people believe that everyone in the Illuminati is either a lizard person or a lizard person sympathizer. Which I can kind of understand. Shit gets a little bit weird. Oh man, Kermit the Frog here, and I just wanted to jump in because this is weird, and I kind of feel attacked right now. Being a frog, I am amphibious, and most people associate me with lizard people. And I really don't like that. You know, like, sure, I might fuck pigs. Shout out to Miss Piggy. I love you, baby. Anyways, yeah, no, I really don't like being associated with all these Illuminati conspiracies and, lizard people. Like, I'm a frog, thank you. I am not a lizard. Okay, thank you, Kermit. You can go away now. This is my show. Yeah. Let's talk about some sightings and attacks people have had with reptilians. Like, this one time, a lady was out walking at night whenever she was, I think she was walking her dog, and she spotted 3 reptilians or 4 reptilians, and she got freaked out because they were real lizards the size of people, and they spotted her, and she jumped into like some random guy's truck bed, and the lizard people started like trying to scratch at the car and get at her. She called her boyfriend, who was apparently nearby, and like before he had gotten out there, the lizard people had like run away and jumped into the sewers or some shit. That was one that I had found and heard about in another podcast. Let's see. Another one is in Arizona. 3 bikers were out on a trail. And when I say bikers, I mean like bicycle riders, like cyclists. When they saw this like really weird 6 or 7 foot tall thing, like walking in the distance with like a really weird walk. Whenever they saw it, like it was really skinny, and they realized it was like a lizard person, and one of them had said something which got his attention. Whenever he had looked at them, he noticed, and he ended up like running away, and then they came back, but apparently they didn't get any like video footage of him, just like the chick in the car didn't get any video footage. Going back to Australia, so just like how I was talking about, Justin Bieber went psycho in Australia. Some people claim to have found lizard people in a cave system somewhere in the middle of the country. And that actually goes back to like another theory about what the lizard people actually are, which are, instead of being aliens or interdimensional beings, they're actually demons from a literal underground hell, I guess you could say. And there is a cave system that certain cave systems that they can go down, and you can find lizard people, and a gateway directly linking to the nether realms, which I think is total and utter bullshit. The only thing I think is down there is the land of the lost. Anyway, I'm kind of done talking for now about lizard people. Like, I looked way too much into this. And I didn't talk about everything. I know I didn't, because, yeah, this is a really weird topic to look up. And all the weird stuff that happened while I was doing it, especially the one thing that really made me pissed off. I don't care about the electricity. That came back on. What really happened, one of my puzzle pieces went missing. I've been working on a 1,500-piece puzzle, and one piece is missing. A single piece, right from Plastic Man's left chest piece. Yeah. So, lizard people, Illuminati, give me back my puzzle piece. I am publishing this, so you will give me back my missing puzzle piece. Otherwise, I'm going to out all of y'all. I found some of you in my own town who shall remain unnamed until I get my puzzle piece back, or unless I get my puzzle piece back. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying stupid shit now. Let's go into a palate cleanser, guys. I looked up lizard people in popular culture, and let's start off with one of my favorites, the Sleestaks from Land of the Lost. So, the Sleestaks are a race of lizard people that live under the earth in, well, the Land of the Lost. They are mostly unintelligent, but were able to, kind of build temples and stuff reminiscent of the Mayan culture. And there is one specific Sleestak who is actually a descendant of all modern Sleestaks that we see in the show, named, Enoch, who is a jerk and wears a tunic. You can identify him because he is red, as opposed to all other Sleestaks being green. He betrays everyone. Yeah. The next person I'd like to talk about that is a reptilian in pop culture is the Lizard. So, Dr. Connors, the famous villain Lizard Man of Marvel Comics, is also the friend of Peter Parker, who, in order to regrow his arm, created a serum that turned him from a human into a lizard, trying to just access that little bit of lizard DNA that allows him to, allows them to regrow limbs once they've been lost. Shit went bad. He went cray-cray. Now he just tries to mutate everybody. And the last reptilian I'm going to speak about from pop culture is the Homo reptilica from Doctor Who. The most popular of which is Madame Vestra, who is kind of like a Sherlock Holmesian figure in Victorian England, who befriended the Doctor and with her human wife solves crime. Yeah. So, this is a little bit shorter of an episode. I didn't feel like talking that long. I am slightly intoxicated, if y'all couldn't tell. Yeah, so, thank you all. Keep an eye open for next episode, which is going to be news, of course, because that's how this all works. But starting after next week, so going into next month, I'm going to start doing themes for every month. And I'm going to start off with doing video games as my theme for the topics of the month. So I'm going to do things like Banjo-Kazooie and Metroid, maybe, other things like that. That was very vague, I know. Anyways, I'm going to do some plugs now. As always, you can find me personally on Instagram and Twitter at Not Coffee. That's coffee with a K. I post all my art and stuff up there, talk about random crap, thoughts I have while going to sleep. And then you can follow the podcast on all social media at Nerds on Topic. You can send us emails through Gmail at nerdsontopic at gmail.com. You can find the lovely DJ who does my theme music on all social medias at Swa Music. Tune in actually next week because I will actually be having him on the show. Shout out to Swa. Can't wait to record with you, man. It's going to be fun. We're going to be doing something called the nerdy side of music. So, something I'm not very versed in, which is music, but something I am very versed in, which is random nerd shit. We're going to just do a bunch of topics on that and have fun with everything. Anything else I need to talk about? Remember to like, comment, and subscribe on iTunes, and you can find us on Stitcher, YouTube. I don't really care about the YouTube, though. Unless you guys want me to start putting out, like, actual YouTube videos, which I might start doing. Geez, that'd put on even more workload for me. But, I'll do it for you guys. If you guys really like me that much, you wanna experience more of me, I will start putting YouTube videos up that are not just the audio for this, put over a static image of the album art that I do. Also, I think that's it. Anyways, remember everybody, this is Nerds on Topic. We are not the podcast you're looking for. Bye-bye.